game to this point in the season.
16 double-doubles in the 17 games this year. She leads the conference in rebounds as well. And Auburn in their navy blue and burnt orange on the road here in Lexington, facing Kentucky in their white jerseys as we get started. And Jada Roper, who has 7 starts on the year, gets things started.
Well, Auburn's already in their 3-2 half-court zone.
In and out and back in again for Blair Green to get things started.
And I was about to say, before Blair Green knocked it down, is that's where Auburn's been successful at the three-point line. Good start for Kentucky that Blair Green got one to go down, and she's been struggling as of late.
Auburn has had 7 different starting lineups this year, trying to find the right combination. Deja Alexander leading things at the point guard, and a turnover going to be something we'll keep an eye on. Kentucky, Haynes, Green, Howard, Wyatt, and Roper. Kentucky will be without the services of Anya Galibo tonight as she is out. Kentucky's defense has forced a lot of turnovers this year.
And they've been able to convert those into easy transition point. 33% of their total offense on the season has come from opponents' turnovers.
A double clutch shot by Deja Alexander to put the Tigers on the board, and then now they can set up in their pressure.
The 1-2-2 has been a staple under Coach Flo here at Auburn, and it's a great start for Auburn because so far they've been able to get high percentage looks.
Green from the corner, and Kentucky has been very good from three-point range this year.
Well, that was basically, it's going to be a collision course here. How is the 3-2 going to match up with the shooting prowess of Kentucky? So far, advantage Kentucky.
All the way to the rim, Erin Howard, and she's fouled on the shot. Blair Green picks up the foul. Matthew Mitchell started the season with 10 straight wins. That's the 5th time under Coach Mitchell, and the first time since 2015-16. See the number of Sweet 16 appearances and the Elite 8 a couple of times for Matthew Mitchell, and he's had now 8 days since that loss to LSU to prepare for tonight.
Well, 3 of those days were spent just taking the days off. I asked him, how did you break it up? He said, we recharged, we needed the rest, and we're seeing that here early as they've been able to knock some shots down from deep.
Couple of three-pointers from Blair Green. As Kentucky up 6-5, they go inside to Wyatt for the score.
Well, and credit the dribble penetration by Roper to get the ball to the elbow to find Wyatt down low. That's where a 3-2 is successful, when you can get it to the high post area.
3-on-2, Alexander pulls up. Nice rebound and put back by who else? Unique Thompson.
And that's what I'm saying. It's almost like you have to designate a player when the shot goes in the air, someone's going to body up to her and make sure she can't get it. Otherwise, she's going to continue to stay on the glass and get those second chance points.
Well, that's what she does. She leads the conference in rebounds. You have got to find a way to block her out.
Well, and this is her coming in out of transition. No one has a clue where she is, so she follows the path of the ball, snatches it out of the air, and knocks it down. And
a 10-second violation. Auburn lost track of the fact that they had not gotten, Kentucky, that they had not gotten the ball over the half-court line, as that has to make Terry Williams-Flanoy, Coach Flo, happy. Taken her team to the postseason 9 of the last 11 years, including last year when they made it to the NCAA tournament's first round, 22-10 overall.
And the difference this year is they are very young. Only 1 junior and 1 senior on this roster. And this is my issue. Right now, Brooke Moore had Unique Thompson with a lob, but missed her down low. That's why I say that's where they've been struggling. Get Unique Thompson touches if you want to win this game.
Well, that's how she gets touches on offensive rebounds.
Unique Thompson saying, I'm going to get my touch by getting that rebound.
Auburn with the 1-point lead. Sabrina Haynes on the right wing. She can't find anybody to throw it to, so decides to shoot it.
She was arguing with her teammates, like, I'm just going to jack this and knock it down.
Kentucky, as a team, shooting 37% from three-point range. They had a school record 16 three-pointers against Alabama earlier in conference play. Sabrina Haynes, the transfer from Arizona State, sat out last year after transferring. It's Coach Flo doing a little coaching on the sideline with her young players. You mentioned very young lineup for the Tigers.
And I mean, this is my third game in 3 weeks of Auburn, and what I'm seeing is improvement from these young players. They're buying in a little bit more to her defensive system. Offensively, they just got to continue to be patient. When they got impatient and they're taking quick shots is when this Auburn team has struggled.
Shot clock at 5. Chastity Patterson in the game, misses that, but Alexander is double teamed, and Blair Green able to tie her up. The possession arrow will go to Auburn, but some extra effort by Kentucky there to bottle up Alexander.
Well, that was going to go one of two ways. Blair Green was going to get that tie up, or Auburn was going to get an easy transition bucket. So good job by Kentucky to draw that jump ball. I think the officials right now are discussing time on the clock. Did Auburn have possession? And that's why the clock is saying 29 seconds.
Our officials tonight, Dee Kantner, Jenna Cross, and Douglas Knight. And the shot clock will be at 30, as it should be here.
I gotta believe this is not the press breaker that Auburn wants. Unique Thompson handling the ball.
And Ryan Howard with the steal and the score for the Wildcats.
And that's Kentucky basketball. They want to turn you over, make you play at a faster pace, and force you into turnovers so they can convert them into easy points.
Lauren Hansen off the bench for the Tigers. Gets it to Alexander, and another offensive rebound attempt shot. Robin Benton misses that one. Benton knocks that one away. Auburn has numbers. Alexander, nice passing, sets up Benton.
And already we're seeing Auburn be able to convert those turnovers by Kentucky into transition points. That's been their problem this season. They have continued to turn teams over, but then they've turned it over or missed shots.
From the corner, McKinney, good to see her back in the lineup. She's been out the last 4 games in a row.
And I asked Matthew Newton, what can we expect with McKinney coming back? He said energy. He said defense as well as leadership.
5-second violation, a turnover for Auburn.
Well, we knew this was going to be a defensive-oriented game. Ryan Howard with the feed and the finish, and Black, what I call the dog on defense, and that's the top of that 1-2-2 zone for Auburn. And that's where, if you're going to press, you've got to have someone at the top of it who can disrupt and make things hard for the opponents. Right now, the press has hurt Auburn in so many games where teams have just been able to go coast to coast and get easy high percentage shots.
Redshirt senior Amanda Pascal into the game, hits that, and Kentucky picks up full court. As you look at the map of that graphic that we saw, last year Auburn was plus 12 on their possessions because of the turnovers that they forced. And this year they are minus 5. So you can see it's not as much a part of this team, and I know that's a frustration for Coach Flo.
What's hard to change your identity like that when you have been about defense first and foremost, and she has a lot of freshmen that she brought in purposely because they were scorers. The problem has been with these young freshmen is to get them to buy into this hard-nosed defensive presence that Coach Flo has hung her hat on.
A very young team. One of 2 Division I teams with 2 or fewer upperclassmen on the roster. Morgan Robinson-Wagoo is checking in. As you can see, the 11 freshmen and sophomores that make up this roster, and then a shot clock violation for Auburn.
Well, it's not ideal, but it's a dead ball turnover. Therefore, Auburn can set up into their full court press. And when we asked Matthew Mitchell, what are you concerned about? It was this press. He said they have worked on it in multiple ways. They know where to go, but he said our players have to get to the right spots if we're going to be successful.
Roper out to Pascal. Howard lines it up. Roper along the baseline, and a foul going to be called on Robinson Wagoo. Wednesday, John Calipari and number 13 Kentucky host Vanderbilt at Rupp Arena. UK has dominated this rivalry in the last 7 years.
That was her fourth game that she had missed with headache symptoms, and she had been traveling, and they were like, we just need to leave her here in Lexington so she can recover. Therefore, she's out here playing today. But her energy, her presence was lacked on that bench, and that is so important for any team. You've got to bring the energy home or away, and that's up to players themselves to make sure they're creating it, not waiting for something to happen in order to get lively.
Shot clock wound down. Patterson got it up, but an extra possession. Roper with a big step, and Thompson clears it. Thompson has it ripped away. Jada Roper all the way to the hoop. No! But it will stay Wildcat basketball. 6 turnovers already for Auburn.
Well, that started with the on-ball pressure defense, which forced the perimeter player to pick it up. She got bailed out by Thompson. Thompson was just careless with the ball and looking to hand it off just one-handed without protecting it. Been a couple of things with the 3-2 of Auburn, and this is where the youth is being shown. When young players come in, they're not used to communicating effectively. It's more about themselves, and that's just a maturity factor that all players learn to do. And so I'm seeing a lot of missed bumps in the zone right now that's affecting them. The other thing, hands are down. You cannot play any kind of matchup with your hands down because the opponent can pick you apart.
White picks up the foul, her first. Patterson from the corner. Moore pushing ahead, the sophomore. A wraparound pass, but Thompson was double teamed. And again, it will be a held ball. It will be inbounded under the Auburn basket.
How about those shoes, Brenda? The coaching staff for Kentucky will be donating their shoes to the We Back Pat Foundation for them to be auctioned off, and I think I'm going to get in on the action there because those are some nice shoes.
No, they're sweet, and it's just a great way to do something special for the Pat Summitt Foundation and to honor the legacy of Pat Summitt, which we've been able to do on all these We Back Pat games tonight. Being another one, another opportunity to honor Pat Summitt's legacy.
Well, and you're talking about Matthew Mitchell, who worked on her staff, and then 2 former players as well on this Kentucky staff. So a lot of Tennessee ties here.
Kyra Elzy and Nia Butts, the assistant coaches here. Kiki McKinney scores. She's got 4. Annie Hughes out in front of everyone.
Well, I love that they went over the top. If a team's going to press you, you've got to keep them honest. And the way to do that is do the home run ball, as we saw Auburn just execute.
1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Kentucky shooting 50% from the field, 8 of 16 overall, and that one splashes home by Sabrina Haynes.
Well, Matthew Mitchell said we put up a lot of shots this week, and it's showing right now because players on the floor are so confident from Kentucky, and they're knocking down shots.
Auburn had been shooting 50% before that miss. The problem has been their turnovers. They've got 6 in the first quarter of play. And the shot clock is shut off. Roper getting instructions from Matthew Mitchell to set up a last play. Knocked away. Auburn with an opportunity. Hughes doesn't have numbers. Finds. Wow. The collision. She finds Erin Howard, who runs over Roper. An opportunity missed for Auburn.
And that's time and score. Another one of those youthful mistakes by Auburn. Annie Hughes has in those 7 seconds what she can do with the ball. She put Erin Howard in a bad position because she didn't know what to do with the ball because she picked it up.
Howard's first foul. Blair Green looking for someone. Doesn't want to get a 5-second, and she does. Wow. A lot of mistakes here in the last 15 seconds of the quarter.
You call them mistakes. I'm going to say some defense.
All right. That's one way to
It's
look
a combination
at it.
of both.
2 seconds for Auburn. Alexander off the screen, short. And that's the way the first quarter will end. Kentucky, with its largest lead, goes to the second quarter, advantage 8.
Because look what this conference and look what this nation of women's basketball coaches are doing to not only make sure that the next generation knows who she is, but also to help her in that fight against Alzheimer's. That's what that pad is about.
Erin Howard with the three-point shot. I love how, as you said, Matthew Mitchell worked as a grad assistant for Pat Summitt many years ago, and Kyra Elzy and Nia Butts also played for her as Ryan Howard hits a three-pointer. A couple of three-pointers to start off the second quarter of play. But so many impacted by her directly, but so many more indirectly by all the actions of Pat Summitt throughout her life. Unique Thompson muscling her way in, and she draws the foul and will go to the free throw line.
Well, so far, Kentucky's done a good job defensively. But this is what Matthew Mitchell said. It's not the first shot that concerned him. It was the second or third. And so far, Unique Thompson is making Kentucky pay for not keeping her off the glass.
This is the opportunity to finish the three-point play, and then the foul called on Robin Benton.
That right there is why Howard is so special. Just high basketball IQ. Something simple, but she knew the defender was on her shoulder, so she just leans into him and draws that contact, and therefore draws the foul.
Benton trying to make the case.
We're in Wildcat country because the educated fans behind us are trying to make sure Kentucky knows this time you only got 2 seconds so they don't get another 10-second violation. Oh, now they reset the clock.
Put 25 on the shot clock. Howard ahead to Haynes. Alexander picks up her dribble and still not getting the ball into Thompson. There they get it from the baseline. Thompson spins.
So to get Unique Thompson touches down low, Auburn has to use pass fakes as far as perimeter players go. Don't let the weak side get settled in, and they got to just send it in quicker. They're holding the ball, which allows the weak side defense to get set, and it's drawing too much of a crowd against Unique Thompson.
Howard snaking into the defense, rebounds that one. And that's the 5th three-pointer of the first half for Kentucky.
Hey, to every young player out there, you want to make shots, get in the gym. Muscle memory. We're seeing that pay off for Kentucky here. Bye week, what did they do? They rested, got their legs back under them, but they put up a lot of shots, and we're seeing it pay dividends here tonight.
More side steps. Thompson almost got that one, but Wyatt ripped it away. Here comes Kentucky. Kentucky has started red hot, 52% from the field, and well, there are few three-point misses, but Roper there with the rebound, and Coach Blow has seen enough. She calls a timeout.
Well, Brenda, Roper's the one that...
So 20 years ago,
He's still young. He's still young. We're the same age.
Just wearing glasses now. That's the only difference, right?
It happens to us.
It happens to everyone. Ryan Howard almost able to knock it away from Annie Hughes as she brings it down the court. Seen some of the trends so far in this game that we expected. Auburn has 7 turnovers. Kentucky only, though, 4 points off those turnovers. And that's another one. But on the other end, Kentucky has been shooting the ball well from long range. They're 5 of 11 so far from beyond the arc. Seven different players have scored, so we've talked a lot about Howard and how dynamic she's been in SEC play, averaging 30 points a game in conference play, but she's getting a lot of help tonight.
And I said this today to Matthew Mitchell. I said, in my opinion, you need 2 other consistent double-figure scorers. You know, and he was great in that he didn't think it was just point production. But what I'm saying is against teams who are going to scheme specifically to Howard to keep her from scoring those 40-plus points as she did against Alabama this season, other players have to step up. And that was the problem at LSU. No one else could get a shot to fall in that game.
Erin Howard picked up her 2nd foul for Auburn, sending Blair Green to the free throw line. A nice pass from Patterson in transition to set up Green. Green, a 68% free throw shooter. Misses the first. She had started the last 4 games leading up to this one, and tonight in place of Kiki McKinney. Those were her only starts of the year. She connects on the second. She's got 7.
So, Brenda, I want to just loop back to that LSU loss for Kentucky. In that game, Ryan Howard shot 7 for 22. The rest of the team combined for only 7 makes in that game. That's a difficult uphill battle, especially on the road if you can't get shots to fall.
Wide open through the press. Thompson scores on the back end.
And so that's the 2nd time we've seen Auburn truly attack the press and get a high percentage layup.
Unique Thompson now with 8 points on 4 of 5 from the floor.
Well, if you're going to press, you have got to keep the ball in front of you. Here, Auburn makes Kentucky pay for not closing that trap, and they get the easy 2 points.
Patterson with the steal in between 2 defenders.
Degree of difficulty 10. I think Patterson is so dynamic. She can score in bunches. I think the hard part for her right now is still learning this defensive system of Kentucky, which has slowed her down as she's a transfer coming in and trying to catch up to the rest of the team.
Kentucky with its largest lead of the game. The handoff to Bent. Can't get it to go. And then Patterson is called for the travel.
Well, Brenda, I knew 2 high-pressure teams were going to have turnovers. To this point in the game, Auburn with 10 turnovers, Kentucky now with 6.
And we're playing a 94-feet game. That defense is not one of those where they're going to go back and pack it in. Both teams are extending the defense.
Well, and that's why I loved Auburn's last offensive possession where they did the run around, because when you're getting high pressure, you want to get downhill, and so I love the handoff. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert.
Hansen off the mark from the corner. Pascal. Alexander has not been playing point guard all year. She has the turnover there.
Well, Deja Alexander went to Coach Flo after the loss at Vanderbilt and said, I want to run the point. To that point, Auburn had been having freshman point guards, and they had been struggling. So as a staff, they decided, let's move the freshmen out of there, make things simpler for there. And you got to credit Deja Alexander for being selfless enough to try to step up and run the point.
Basket for Kentucky allows them to set up in their full court pressure again. Patterson knocks it away. Out to Wyatt. Wyatt hits the three. And a timeout for Auburn.
So Brenda,
6 of 13 from beyond the arc. They also have the 12 points off 12 turnovers.
well, Brenda, we talked about it at shoot around. It was going to be points in the paint as well as points off turnovers, which were going to be the two statistical areas of this game that was going to determine the winner.
Robin Benton scores out of the timeout by Coach Flo, and then Auburn picks up a foul. And Dee Kantner blows the whistle. What's going on in the corner here?
Got a Kentucky player down.
Out of our line of sight. Yeah, Roper picking herself up off the floor. Dee Kantner blew the whistle to make sure that Roper would be escorted off, and she is walking off under her own power. The foul was called on Benton, her second. Jenna Cross makes sure each team has enough players on the court. Some subs in. Patterson from the top of the key. 7 3-pointers now for the Wildcats.
Well, I'm a big believer in three-point shooting is contagious, and we're seeing that in a big way right now from the Wildcats.
4 different players have scored from beyond the arc. Now, with Patterson's 3, that makes it 5. And it is contagious. There's no doubt.
Well, if you're Auburn right now, with Benton going to the bench, who's going to be that primary perimeter scorer for you? But also, it changes how they play their defense when Benton goes to the bench.
9 games this season with 10 or more three-pointers for Kentucky. Howard. And a jump ball called, held ball. They're going to give it to Kentucky. Thompson not happy about it. She thought she had secured the ball, and Ryan Howard reached in to grab it. But it will be Kentucky possession.
So, Brendan, that's the third time Kentucky's tied up Auburn on a defensive rebound.
At least,
yeah.
At least. Kiki McKinney was not expecting that. Wagoo. Thompson is fouled on the floor.
Brendan, it's a small thing, but Robinson Wagoo was almost on the sideline because of Kentucky's defense. It's making it almost impossible to feed the low post because of how far out Kentucky's extending that high-pressure defense.
Nene Cole picked up the foul. Hands it inside to Thompson. Hughes tries to track it down, but Patterson with the basketball. Patterson with that great speed all the way to the rim.
She has another gear in the open floor. Started even with the defender and just blew by her.
And a blocking foul going to be called on Patterson. But wow, it didn't look like she had numbers, and then she was all by herself out in front.
That's a score. That's a score's mentality. It doesn't matter how many people are back. I'm going to go by you and get to the rim and finish.
Patterson now with 7 points. She and Green behind Haynes with 8.
Well, Robinson Wagoo's got to be careful with her handle right now because Patterson is sizing her up and looking to pick her.
20-point lead for Kentucky here in the second quarter. Step back, nice shot from Lauren Hansen, the freshman. inside the three-point arc. And ahead to Thompson. Thompson now in double figures.
Well, I love that the freshman point guard found her post player in transition, led her to the basket for the easy two.
Here's the crazy thing for Kentucky right now. There are actually 4 players for the Wildcats who have more points than Ryan Howard.
I don't know if that's a problem if you're truly a Kentucky fan, because you've been waiting for there to be more offensive balance. I just felt like going into their bye week, so much pressure was on Ryan Howard to be the defender, to score, to rebound. That can wear on a player.
Tries to sneak the ball through to Thompson, but all the Kentucky defenders around. Off to the races. Howard for 3. No. McKinney follows it up.
McKinney has made her presence felt after missing those 4 games. There, she just goes up and snatches that rebound to put it back in for 2.
And a travel called on Auburn. Well, gymnastics takes over the SEC Network every Friday night, and this week, Missouri hosts Arkansas in Columbia at the Hearn Center at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Then it's Alabama and LSU from Baton Rouge and the Maravich Center. Friday Night Heights is also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Alabama, LSU, big football rivalry, but I got to say, in gymnastics, it's just as huge.
And it's fun to watch those competitions for sure. Under a minute to play here in the second quarter. Kentucky has turned it over now 9 times, excuse me. And rolling around the rim and in Thompson. Thompson now with 12 for the Tigers.
Boy, I love it. Skip pass. They caught the defense rotating, and that's when the ball went into Thompson, and then she went to work.
Ryan Howard going to have the ball in her hands, trying to create in the last 10 seconds here of the quarter. Howard steps back. No. Auburn still has time. That one's off the mark. Kentucky shoots 51% from the field in the first half and makes 7 of 16 from beyond the arc. Their largest halftime lead in an SEC straight and 9 of the last 10. 6:30 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. And a scramble for the loose ball, held ball. It will stay Kentucky. And sure good to see Kiki McKinney back in the lineup. Well, Auburn just 1 of 4 from three-point range, but Kentucky 7 three-pointers. As we mentioned, they are one of the top teams in the NCAA in three-pointers made and three-point percentage this year, and you saw that on display in the first half. They're 9-0 here at Memorial Coliseum. Their only loss at home this year was at Rupp Arena, so they've been perfect here at Memorial. Auburn with the first possession of the half. Alexander tries to score. Thompson there, and again a tie-up on a rebound.
The fourth one, at least this time, it was on the offensive end for Auburn. My concern has been when they've gotten the defensive rebound and been tied up. And that's where you just teach post players to chin it, meaning get the ball below your chin, elbows out, so no one can come into your territory.
Kentucky with their first possession. Blair Green, who got things started in the first half, misses from the corner. So Blair Green continuing to be in the starting group. She replaced Kiki McKinney when she was out for those 4 games. McKinney is back today and perfect from the field. Nice shot from Erin Howard from straight away.
And that's my scouting report on Erin Howard. She loves that trail 3 coming out of transition, and there she knocks it down.
Roper. Howard covered up nicely by Alexander. And stolen away. Turnovers definitely a part of the storyline in the first half. Now that's 10 turnovers for the Wildcats. the Tigers have those 15 turnovers that we mentioned Kentucky has been able to capitalize on.
Well, and even when Kentucky has struggled from the field in games, they've taken care of the ball, and they've been able to turn over their opponents. They are second in the nation in turnover margin.
Alexander only had 2 seconds on the shot clock, and Thompson there for the rebound. Out-muscles Wyatt that time, and Wyatt picks up her second foul.
So it's not like Kentucky didn't know that Unique Thompson was going to crash the glass. You know that they prepped for it. You know they saw film on it, clip after clip, and that's how special Unique Thompson is, because it is her insatiable pursuit of that ball is why she's such a great rebounder.
She leads the conference in rebounds per game, leads the nation in double-doubles as she is closing in on yet another double-double. She makes both free throws.
You know, this rebounding is just effort. And that's why, you know, her coach will say Dennis Rodman-like. I'm going to say just throwback to the olden days where you got on the floor and the offensive series didn't end until the other team got it, and that's her mentality. We're still on offense until I don't get this rebound, and that's what has kept Auburn in this game tonight as well as so many other games this season.
Kentucky led by as many as 20 points, but Auburn now with an opportunity to cut it within single digits. And Thompson feels like she's got a mismatch inside against Haynes, and Haynes going to be called for the foul, trying to not allow Thompson to post up.
Well, they could have gotten to her sooner, but Erin Howard had no idea about the mismatch as she was standing in the passing lane. Finally got out. Actually, I think that was probably a smart foul by Haynes, to be honest, because that was going to be 2 points easy for Thompson.
First foul for Haynes. 2 team fouls in the third quarter. And a dangerous pass picked off by Green. Green behind the back, pulls up, doesn't have numbers, and Auburn there to rebound. Nice feed to Thompson that time, and it's a single-digit game.
A great set call from the bench. You got a player cutting up the gut, one cutting middle, and everybody's worried about all that action, and that leaves Unique Thompson open on the block.
Turnover for Kentucky. Auburn will have it again to try to chip into this lead.
Well, a little misdirection by the perimeter players leaves Unique Thompson wide open down low, and she muscles Unique Thompson down low, and she puts it in. You're looking for growth when you've had a frustrating season, and that's what Auburn's showing right now.
Coach Flo looking on. Has to be happy with the fight in this team. You see Thompson's numbers so far as she closes in on yet another double-double. Howard tries to throw it off a Kentucky defender, but it goes off Ryan Howard.
Auburn's got to keep the ball off the sideline because Kentucky is trapping, and they're using that sideline as a third defender, and that's caused Auburn some issues already to this point in the game.
So Kentucky's led by as many as 20, and Auburn hadn't been within single digits since 27-18 down in the second quarter. They're within single digits here. The nice kick out to Howard. Can't chip in further. Howard with a little head and shoulder fake, missing that one. Howard just 2 of 9 from the field tonight. Now make that 2 of 10 with that miss. 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. Thompson rebounds and puts it back in.
Special. I mean, I've said it throughout this game. That's my respect for the way Unique Thompson plays this game.
Kentucky playing with just a 7-point lead now. And a bad throw by Haynes right to the Kentucky bench.
Well, while Kentucky's struggling on offense, Auburn is heating up. Brooke Moore with a missed shot, but who's there? Missed double-double herself with another rebound putback.
Inside, and Auburn's closed it within 5.
This is where, if I'm Matthew Mitchell, I want to make sure Ryan Howard gets a touch, if not a set for her to get the shot.
Still, Kentucky has not scored in the third quarter. They were ahead 44-28 at halftime. An 11-0 run for the Tigers. And a foul going to be called as Thompson was trying to scoop it up. Patterson picks up her second.
Wouldn't you love to know what Coach Flo said at halftime to her team? It's working. Her team is coming out, and they're looking inside, but it's Unique Thompson on the glass right now to this point in the third quarter.
Brooke Moore. She's got Thompson inside. Picks up her dribble.
You need to have a purpose when you dribble. Your power is the dribble. And that time, Brooke Moore didn't do anything with it and put her team in a bad situation.
And a backcourt violation called on Kentucky. They had thrown it into the backcourt. It went back over the half-court line, and a violation occurred.
With officials right in front of us, and he clearly said you had possession, you grabbed it, and then you threw it.
Yeah, you could see that Pascal was in the backcourt. So Auburn with a chance to build on this 11-0 run. Thompson sizes up McKinney, double teamed. They go back to her, but stolen away by Howard.
I'm not sure why Thompson stopped. She had it clear past to the rim. She should have kept going to the left.
Pascal short. Kentucky still hasn't scored this quarter. Knocked away by McKinney. The 2-and-1 was stopped. Lauren Hansen turned it over, and a foul is called. But Auburn has raced out of the halftime locker room with an 11-0 run to cut it to 5.
To have a low post presence, and credit the young perimeter players of Auburn because they have done a great job of getting the ball inside to Unique Thompson.
She's got 18 points and 9 rebounds, and getting a brief rest. You've got to imagine it's going to be brief. Kentucky needs a good possession here.
I was laughing because if I'm Coach Flo, I said, "How you doing?" And if she says tired, I just walk the other way like I didn't hear her. That's how well Unique Thompson's playing right now. But more importantly for Kentucky, does Ryan Howard get a shot opportunity in this possession?
5 on the shot clock. Howard over an outstretched defender's hand, well contested. Lauren Hansen comes down with it. 0 for 6 now here in the third quarter is Kentucky.
Well, Brenda, coming into tonight, Ryan Howard had been shooting 46% on end of the shot clock shots, like contested everything. Tonight already 0 for 2.
Roper pushes ahead Pascal. Ryan Howard going to work. This is the time she brings her lunch bucket. Blocked inside. Roper retrieves it. Short. And still no score for Kentucky here in the third. And they're going to call a foul on Kentucky on Howard. Howard is walking over to the end of the bench and holding her hand. They are working on her hand right now. She walked right off the court and asked for assistance and is now going to walk back to the locker room. That is not a good sign for Kentucky. So right away, after Howard reached in, she gets called for the foul, but you can see her shaking her head. It's not good.
The hands, I mean, one of the most important body parts for any basketball player, and you just hope Ryan Howard's going to be okay.
White ripping through. McKinney called for the foul on the shot. It will send Kaye White to the free throw line. That's the first foul on McKinney.
So this is a growth opportunity for Kentucky right now. Your star is in the locker room, may not return. Now who's going to step up for this Kentucky team? Let's get them settled. But right now you need to execute on the offensive end and have patience. Sometimes young players try to be the person in that moment. I think for this Kentucky ball club, they need a team.
Well, Saturday we've got another men's hoops doubleheader for you right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Arkansas takes on Alabama at Coleman Coliseum in our first game at 6 Eastern. Then we'll take you to historic Memorial Gymnasium in Nashville for Vanderbilt hosting Florida. Kentucky still has not scored in the third quarter. They led 44-28 at the half. And Ryan Howard has gone off the court holding her hand in pain. Now a foul called on the attempt by Haynes.
I love that Matthew Mitchell brought his perimeter shooter into the high post area. So many times we see a lot of coaches who will bring their post player in against the zone for that length, that ability to pass from high post. He puts a shooter in there, and Haynes draws the foul.
Benton picks up the foul. And Kentucky still hasn't scored.
If I'm Matthew Mitchell, I just call a timeout, and I go and make sure there's not a lid on that rim right now.
Haynes, a 59.5% free throw shooter, finally breaks through. The first score of the game comes at the 2:28 mark.
And it allows Kentucky to set up that press.
First score of the third quarter, I should say. Alexander all the way to the rim. And it's a three-point game.
Great job by Alexander to get herself under control and get her shoulder squared to finish at the rim.
So where do you go now if you're Kentucky with Howard off the court?
Well, again, it's against the 3-2 zone, so I want to see the ball get a paint touch, whether that's the high post or low post, or just go to Haynes on the wing to knock it down.
Haynes' third three-pointer of the game, and that's a big one, and then a tie-up. It stays possession arrow Auburn.
This is what I was saying, right, Brenda? Take it to the wing and let Haynes knock down a three. But more importantly, yes, it's 3 points, but you see the mojo of this Kentucky ball club, and that's the defense. And you see as soon as the bucket goes down, McKinney is up, and her activity level is at an all-time high right now. And Kentucky's going to win this game with their defense. That's my true belief. Whether Howard comes back or not, it's got to be their defense.
That one thrown away. So we'll keep an eye on that. Auburn had drawn within 3. But Kentucky stretched it back out to 6 now. You see the turnover story. And with the youth of Auburn, we knew that would be an issue. Deflected out of bounds. But with the youth of Auburn, didn't know how they would respond to being back down 20, and they came back in this game.
I mean, if I'm Auburn coaching staff, I'm beyond proud right now. They could have just hung it in at halftime. Instead, they came out one possession at a time, got to stop defensively, converted into points on the other end, and they just kept that process going to make this a game again.
Another three-pointer for Sabrina Haynes, and they've needed it with Howard gone to the locker room. 15 points now for the redshirt senior. And a three-pointer, good answer for Brooke Moore. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Third quarter that has been owned by Auburn, but a couple of three-pointers from Sabrina Haynes has helped Kentucky to extend the lead. Kentucky had gone on a 7-0 run before that three-pointer from Moore. Wyatt can't retrieve it.
That's the second or third time Kentucky's post players have put the ball on the floor immediately upon the catch. It's a 3-2 zone. Anytime the ball goes in that low block area, she's going to be swarmed. They've got to keep it. They've either got to go score immediately or go directly to the rim off that bounce.
There's just about a second difference between the game clock and shot clock, so Auburn may get the last shot of the quarter. Thompson inside scores it. What a quarter for Thompson and Auburn, and the three-pointer no good by Haynes.
Auburn has come out to play here in Lexington in the third, outscoring Kentucky by a margin of 19-7. A big part of it.
Just holding on to a 4-point lead after leading by as many as 20.
Well, I'm sure right now he would love to have Howard on the floor. Any fan wants to have Howard on the floor. But this is a growing opportunity for Kentucky. What do you do when Howard's on the floor? Who do you go to? And it just makes execution even more important.
Patterson with a quick three. Alexander raises up. It's a 2-point game. That's the closest it's been here in the second half. The steal. Moore with a good decision to pull it out. Steps back to three-point range. Long. Offensive rebound stripped away. But White will be at the free throw line to try to tie this game.
Well, Auburn has picked up where they left off in the third quarter. Alexander off of the handoff, elevates and knocks it down.
Haynes picked up the foul, her second. Kye White misses the first, just a 55% free throw shooter. She's only got 1 point tonight, and that came in the first half. She's now 1 for 5 from the free throw line, so an opportunity for Auburn to tie it, and they weren't able to.
So if I'm Kentucky, I want to see a ball reversal, or I want to see a paint touch before anyone looks to shoot this ball.
Roper attacks Pascal on the baseline, but slips and travels. Looked like there was a slick spot on the floor over there. White tight-roping the half-court line inside to Thompson, and she is fouled. What a nice pass to set up Unique Thompson.
Well, I wasn't sure they read the weak side defender when they fed Thompson the ball, but great body control there not to go into the defender and instead draw the foul.
Third foul on Tatiana Wyatt. And Thompson makes the first free throw. Thompson 9 of 10 from the field now, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and she ties it. The tie ball game.
Coach Flo told us when buckets go down, our defense seems to pick up, and we're seeing that here in the second half by Auburn's full court and half court defense.
Kentucky led by as many as 20 in the second quarter. They led by 16 at the half, and it's tied. Haynes knocked down a couple of three-pointers in the third quarter, but couldn't get that one to go.
Well, here's the thing. Shot selection is always important. But right now, for Auburn, Unique Thompson has to get a touch. And then on the other end, I'm going to say it again, we need ball reversal if you're a Kentucky fan, and you need a paint touch with that ball against the zone.
Thompson on the verge of her 17th double-double of the year, and Auburn has a turnover with no Thompson touch. High post to Haynes. No. McKinney. Yes. And then a turnover for Auburn.
Auburn tied the game, and since then 2 turnovers, but McKinney has made her presence felt here tonight, this time on the offensive glass for the putback.
So Thompson for Auburn tied it up at 51. A second chance point by McKinney, and then a turnover for Auburn. And Ryan Howard has returned from the locker room. Her left hand is all taped up as she takes a seat on the bench. A foul away from the ball called on Auburn. Here she was earlier walking in. You can see the tape that has been applied around her hand and her fingers. Unique Thompson picked up her first foul. So we are unclear whether Howard would be able to come back in, but Pascal knocks down the three-pointer. That's her first three-pointer of the game.
And the 10th of the night for Kentucky. And it's getting the crowd back into it now.
Auburn had tied it, but 5 quick points from Kentucky. Chance to add on. Alexander's with the steal. Up ahead to Thompson. She waits and scores. Boy, what a swing there for Auburn.
Well, and credit Deja Alexander for staying in the play defensively and then leading Unique Thompson to the bucket.
And a turnover for Kentucky.
Both these coaches are going to be proud about a lot of things tonight, but the turnovers are going to keep them up. Here, Deja Alexander leading the post player, Unique Thompson, for the easy 2.
Unique Thompson is 10 for 11 from the field.
Now do you know why
points.
I told you she needs more touches?
More touches. Shot is short for Benton, and it gets away inside. Three-point lead for Kentucky. What a night for Unique Thompson. And then a foul called away from the basketball on Hansen.
Hansen got caught hooking Pascal as she flashes the ball. Good call by Hansen.
First foul for Hansen. Pascal out to McKinney. McKinney for 3. 13 points now for McKinney, and 11 three-pointers for Kentucky on the night.
That's another example where Hansen just missed Unique Thompson. She waited after the catch instead of getting her the ball.
Thompson in traffic, good double team, gets away, and it's tied up. Possession arrow. Auburn. Well, Wednesday, John Calipari and number 13 Kentucky host Vanderbilt at Rupp Arena. Kentucky has dominated this rivalry the last 7 years, winning 9 of the last 10. It's 6:30 Eastern, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Super I've always been raving about Unique Thompson, but a couple of things for this offense. I would love to see Thunder players lead her to the basket more, but I'd also love to see her go baseline more. She tends to go into the defense, making it harder for herself.
Foul called on Auburn, and Auburn was trying to get Thompson the ball. Third foul on Robin Benton. Haynes dribbling through traffic. And now just 17 on the shot clock as Patterson sets it up. Green posts up over Thompson. Thompson may have gotten a piece of it. Under 5 to play in the game. Benton lines up for 3, knocks it down.
Credit Deja Alexander. Pushed tempo and made everybody sink into the paint, and then she found Benton posting up.
And it's off the leg of Howard. It's Kentucky basketball.
Well, Auburn's come out of the locker room on fire. If it hadn't been for the turnovers, they would probably have the lead. But transition only has 16 points off of the 24 points. It goes back to what you said early in the game, Brenda. That's been what their issue has been. They're turning teams over. They have not been able to convert consistently.
And Ryan Howard is back in the game. She went out at the 3:11 mark in the third quarter. We have gotten word that it was a dislocated finger. She has it all taped up on her left hand. She is right-handed, and she has the ball. Roper from three, too far, and a big rebound by White. Auburn with an opportunity to pull within one or tie it on this possession. Thompson posting up, calling for it.
And Coach Flo is calling the offensive set from the bench for the Tigers.
Alexander changes gears and draws Auburn within one.
Great change of pace move by Alexander to get to the rim.
Foul called on Kaye White. Let's look back at that play by Deja Alexander.
Well, if you're going to win on the road, you've got to have great play by your senior point guard. Deja Alexander, a little hesitation, head, shoulder, head fake, turns the corner and gets to the rim.
Howard, how much can she use that left hand? She cradles it, she throws it up with her left hand. That's the injured hand she just shot that ball with. And that's Howard's first basket of the second half. The only player that scored for Kentucky in the third quarter when Howard went out was Haynes.
Well, she's basically telling everybody, I'm fine. I'm going to compete because I want to win this game. Takes it up through traffic and puts it up with the injured hand and knocks it down.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. What a gutsy play, but still, Kentucky just leads by 3. Three-pointer rims in and out, but there's Thompson to put it back in. She's got her double-double, and she's got 26 points. A 1-point lead for Kentucky. You see Howard there, she just handled it with just her right hand.
She's saving the left to shoot with.
She comes around the screen. No. Big rebound for Howard. Aaron Howard for Auburn. Alexander throws it up to Thompson and just over the outstretched arms, and Thompson says, good try. And everybody's saying, go ahead and shoot that ball, Deja.
Well, she made one earlier this half, going full speed just like that. And I think Unique Thompson even thought she was going to shoot it.
Auburn hasn't led since they had 9-8 in the first quarter. And a timeout for Matthew Mitchell, 22 seconds on the shot clock, so they just have 2 seconds to get it over the half-court line. 2:20 to go in the game.
And Brenda, Matthew Mitchell called that timeout because he was worried about the 10-second violation. Kentucky still has only 2 seconds to get it over the half-court line.
Howard has it poked away by Aaron Howard, and that one is tied up. Benton was going to the hoop. It was tied up, and it will be Kentucky basketball. What a defensive play.
Well, I said defense for Kentucky will win this game. I love that they did not give up on the play, got back in transition, and got that tie up.
Yeah, Auburn has had a couple of chances to go ahead and have not been able to. They were down by as many as 20. It's a 1-point game. Haynes, no. And it's Thompson rebound.
Unique Thompson's looking around everywhere for Deja Alexander, and she's like, oh, there you are.
Entry to Thompson, back out to Howard. Strong, Thompson there to try to get the rebound. No! And Haynes comes away with it.
They missed. Blair Green wide open underneath.
And then a foul on the shot as Roper took it to the rim. Erin Howard picked up her third foul, but didn't allow the easy basket.
Well, at this point, you've got to make either team win it at the free throw line versus just conceding easy scoring opportunities. Brenda, something to watch right now. Roper is taking her time to catch her breath. McKinney, who has not played in 4 straight games, looks like she's winded as well.
First free throw attempt of the game for Roper. She's got 3 points. Kentucky led by Haynes today with 15, McKinney with 13. Roper makes both free throws to extend the lead to 3. Pascal into the game for Roper. Ryan Howard just 7 points for Kentucky. It's been all Auburn in the second half, but they still haven't led. They've played from behind. They've drawn within, but they still have not led. They did tie the game at 51. And then a timeout called by Coach Flo to gather her Tigers around.
Well, I think Coach Flo called that timeout because Deja Alexander was about to get called for the 3-second violation. So she's trying to maintain.
Auburn now with just 1 timeout remaining. Kentucky has 2. But Auburn has it with 14 on the shot clock, 1:08 remaining in the game. Alexander. Thompson there for the rebound between 3 Wildcat defenders. The three-pointer, in and out for Hanson. Thompson gets another rebound and is fouled. You just can't keep Unique Thompson off the board. Ryan Howard picks up her second foul to send Thompson to the free throw line. What a force.
And she's going straight up to get those rebounds.
She misses that free throw. 26 points on the night for Unique Thompson. 11 of 14 from the field. And now 5 for 7 from the free throw line to draw Auburn within 2.
And Kentucky's calling timeout. They're going to advance the ball to the half court.
So Kentucky's given all they can handle by the Auburn Tigers. Kentucky was up by 16 at the half. Auburn tied it at one point, haven't been able to take the lead. They're down by 2 now.
Well, Auburn needs the stop. No need to foul right now because they're already in the bonus. Get the stop and then worry about your offense.
Ryan Howard with the basketball. She was out for 10 minutes, a dislocated finger, her left hand all taped up.
Brenda, her presence is so important. The offense goes through Ryan Howard, so it just solidifies things, whether or not she takes this shot or not.
8 on the shot clock. Kentucky patient. Alexander called for the foul, reaching in, and it will send Ryan Howard to the free throw line. Second foul for Deja Alexander. Kentucky in the bonus.
Brenda, I don't mean to laugh, but Howard's shoelace has come untied, and she could not tie it because of the left hand injury. So that's why Pascal's gone over, and the crowd's applauding her being a good teammate. Right now. It might be the most important assist of the night for
Absolutely.
Pascal.
Lauren Hanson going to check in for Auburn. Howard has not been to the free throw line tonight. She's had a tough shooting night, just 3 of 13 from the field, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc for the leading scorer in the SEC. But with her left hand all taped up with that dislocated finger, she attempts the first free throw and makes it.
I said she was clutch in the open. She proved it with that free throw.
79% free throw shooter. That's a big one. This second one could make it a 2-possession game. And it does. Auburn calls their last timeout to advance.
Well, Brenda, we talk about Ryan Howard's offense, but the rim herself, and Thompson's there to clean it up.
Kentucky led by as many as 20 in the second quarter. Auburn came all the way back and tied it, but they have never led in this game. They're down by 4 with 29 and a half seconds. Howard steps, no, she forces the turnover. The injured Ryan Howard steps in, knocks the ball away, and turns the ball over.
So now Auburn is forced to foul, but Miss Clutch steps up, shoots the gap, gets the deflection, and forces the turnover on Auburn.
So Dee Kantner is saying that Alexander's feet were over the line. As right-handed only, Ryan Howard keeps the dribble going. She's got, I don't know if it's a grimace or a smile on her face, but she was dribbling
I'm
through
going to
with
go
her
with
right
a
hand.
smile on that one.
Fourth foul on Aaron Howard. And how about Ryan Howard coming back with those dislocated fingers all taped up, making the 2 free throws to make it a 2-possession game, forcing the turnover, and then dribbling through traffic.
I think it's just a testament. One thing I've loved about Ryan Howard's season has been that she has never forced the action. And she's a gamer. She's a gamer. She plays the camera as well. But Ryan Howard is about this team first and foremost. So I guarantee you the most important thing to her tonight was to get the W. She didn't do it with her scoring, but she's done it here at crunch time with her defense as well as her presence on the floor.
She's in double figures now with 10. Auburn has to move quickly. Howard with a block. Just one more thing for Ryan Howard. What else can she do? And a foul called on Auburn. This crowd appreciating what Ryan Howard has brought back to the court since the injury.
Well, these Kentucky fans should appreciate her. She is a special talent, and it's not just about scoring. She can set her teammates up. She doesn't force the action on offense. She, as we saw, gets the block. She's a great defender, leads them in rebounding. This young lady is on a tear. We hope this is just a minor injury. She has time to recover and gets back in action come Thursday night when they take on Mizzou. But it's always fun to watch her.
And Sabrina Haynes made up for her when she was out. She's got 17 points and stretches the lead to 7. Season high for Sabrina Haynes. And Alexander can't get that one to go. But what a valiant effort from Auburn as they battled back and made it close.
You know, for a team that has struggled throughout the season like Auburn has, I wasn't sure how they'd respond coming out of half. They impressed me and then some. They fought.